Hey, it's Douglas Beck with the Growth Collective. In today's video, we're diving into how technology and AI are revolutionizing the real estate game. I'm sharing practical strategies to organize your database, speed up deal flow, and unlock unlimited opportunities. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on more actionable insights to grow your real estate empire. Let's jump in. It's not that AI has all the answers, but man, if we're not in a place where you can get those things solved much faster by using technology, this is the best time in your life that I've seen in my life to be able to do that. And so how dare we, not just you, but me and you, hold on to these amazing, beautiful ideas because we say we make up stories sometimes we don't have enough time. No, we have technology that creates the time. Because like I basically have here, you can't really see it, but I keep scrolling. That's an article in a book basically that was written in probably 30 seconds. And I could take that thing that was an intentional thing in my mind and my heart, right? It was intentional in my mind and I wanted to do this, but it was also in my heart buried in there saying, man, I'm talking to my son and I could bring that to life, but without me having to type. I didn't have to type anything. I just audioed it. I audioed the prompt and it typed it for me, okay? Then it wrote the stuff in the way that it thinks best. And then I could give this to my team, like my copywriting team and my actual team and say, make this better. Or I could tell AI, hey, you didn't do that. Thank you so much, AI. You did a great job, but you didn't do exactly what I want. Could you make it better this way? And it does it again. And then I can do that again. And I can do it again. And I can say, hey, reference this document over here. And then do look over here, this .com example site, or do this, or do it in the tone of this. I can tell it exactly what. So please, if you don't understand how this stuff works, I got to implore you, I get no benefit besides your growth and goals being accomplished faster. Get a GPT thing on your phone to just mess with it because this is a game changer for the entrepreneurs, which I think is most of us here, and people that want to create stuff. It's not going to be constricted by your capacity of time. Time is actually becoming infinite, which is scary to say that. I don't know. It's not my fleshly time, my fleshly body. And actually time really, if you look at it from a spiritual standpoint, is actually infinite because it's our time with our Father. But at the end of the day, in my fleshly body, like it is finite, right? I have a certain amount of time on this earth, but this thing and all the things around us, and even this video that we're on right now is creating an infinite amount of time because this video, this portion where I'm talking can be replayed after it's being recorded over and over and over again. So your legacy, my legacy, our legacy together is created as imprints of time by bringing things like this video, for example, this conversation that's live, but ultimately now creating a recording and then taking that and making a transcription, making an audio component and pushing that forward. So don't hold yourself back though. If you've got something in your heart, if you got a gift, like one of my friends said, you have a gift to the world, give it. Like give your gift, get on Zoom, right? Do a Zoom by yourself. My kids do this sometimes. They get on Zoom and they'll just like talk like they're pretending to do like a class. It's so cute. And my daughter especially does it. She'll like explain something, she'll tell a story, whatever, and then she'll pretend she's like reading to a class. And it's so cool because that's going to be an imprint that lasts forever. If I ever want to go back and say, hey, sweetie, I want to see that video you did when you were 10 or 11 years old. It's like, I could see that, which is so cool. So don't short yourself out on this. Like do the videos you need to do, right? That's something you have to sit. And right now, at least in this current world, which I hope authenticity is real. Like we have to stay, true to who we are. So don't let AI do your video. That's not, I wouldn't support that. I've considered it. I'm not going to say I hadn't, but I would recommend you do authentically who you are in video. Take that video, for example, and have AI work with that video and do some extraction of value and benefit like Fireflies or like Fathom or like Otter or these things. Take AI to pull stuff away from your plate. Like have it work for you, right? Do the work for you. The AI tools are literally the ultimate DFY tool. It's the least expensive way to do this thing. Now it can't necessarily not yet at least, put deals together for you, okay? AI is not powerful enough to put together transactions that I know of. Maybe you know of something that is out there that does that. But I'll tell you, there is actual focus being put into what I'm calling the deal maker AI, which is not like a thing. It's not like a marketing offer like that. Our deal maker kind of brand or, the deal maker live, you've heard that before, the deal maker concepts like AI, the concept is if I have data that has to do with people, right? And on one side, the database has people who buy. It could be buying real estate. It could be buying an investment piece of real estate. It could be buying the position in a piece of debt in a piece of real estate. It could be whatever depth you want to go buying. But then I have over here people that are selling, right? People that are selling real estate, selling something, selling whatever. The closest thing that I know that exists today that has this at a macro level, like not talking about specifically just real estate, but at a macro level, think of like Facebook Marketplace, for example. And what do I use that as an example? Because Facebook Marketplace has, God knows, millions or probably hundreds of millions of people all across the world that can post using this systematic methodology where you could choose the thing you're selling, take a picture of it, put it up there, and then you have the reach of the entire world basically at your fingertips. I mean, effectively, that's what it is. You click a couple buttons, you post an item for sale, and then the whole world can see it like in 2 seconds later. It's kind of nuts.
nuts. So, and that's like what Craigslist was, and still kind of maybe is, and eBay is a similar platform, and Amazon, you can use, well, Doug, there's a million different, Temu, I guess, all these different things. But I'm saying Facebook Marketplace, because I could prioritize the things I'm selling to specific places. I could say my friends, for example, I can target just my friends. I could say my group that I'm in, for example, I could say this Facebook group over here, I want to post this thing for sale. I could say just my post on my Facebook wall, but it's for a certain group of people. All these different things, I can control that. And so in your database, like a subset of your database that you knew was buying, and another subset of your database that was selling. And selling could mean selling property, but it could also mean selling a partnership in terms of a property they're going to do together. Like they want to take on a partner. Or it might be in selling, I'm going to give a loan for a property. I'm going to buy a loan. I'm going to use you for a loan. I have a database of people that are giving loans, like lenders and funds, and I have people that need loans, example. Or I have a database, let's say a subset of my database is people selling, what are those things? Selling wholesale deals, for example. Selling a wholesale deal. I have wholesalers, as we call them, right? People that have deals under contract. And then I've got investors that want to buy those deals. So if I can just do one thing, and that one thing could actually eventually be outsourced as well, but that one thing was connecting with more people. Remember I said before, some of you were with me before, I said, hey, what if your database could produce 600 grand a year of net profit on an annual basis, and we lit the multiple of what that would be worth potentially, and I did that one thing, and I create 50 grand a month of net profit for my business over the course of time by doing wholesale deals or whatever you do. And I eventually sell that business, and I take that and I do whatever I do next, whatever I do with that money. But let's say if the AI concept was applied here, what I'm suggesting is if there was an AI mechanism, which we're working on this internally as a company for specifically the wholesale side, where my people that I know at a detailed level, right? I have my database. I'm going to connect my database of people that I know at that detailed level to the database of others, of people that they know at a detailed level. And I'm going to do it in an AI capacity where I just have one here. I have 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 10,000 people, a million people that I know at a detailed level, connecting the value that they store, the elements of the value of whether it's buying, investment criteria, etc., to the elements of value that's stored by another set of data of people that you know or that someone else knows. And I do that across multiple databases simultaneously. I know it sounds kind of nuts and scary maybe to think about it, but it's really not. It's like I press a button, I say, I got this thing of value to offer to my database. My database looks at it, it says, okay, I'm going to pass that to my database. And then that people take it to their database and take their database. I create a flurry, a wave of value. I say, I have a deal, press a button, it goes out, boom. And I want the database to take that deal and just push it out to somebody else. It's kind of like, and not in a bad way, because a lot of people get like, about that. It's kind of like network marketing sort of, but it's not the same concept because I'm not actually having to do anything or say anything or sell anything. It's kind of like saying, I know somebody who has this. Are you interested? And it tracks it through the process to get to the ultimate finish line. And the chances are that the further it goes, the more likely it's going to get what it needs. But it may not have to go very far because the first way it goes, like if I have the person that has the thing and I also have the person that needs a thing, and I'm in that middle, I could be the connector of the thing. In this case, real estate deal example. But if I have, let's say, the deal, but I don't have the investor, but then I send a network notification to my whole network through AI and I click a button, it goes boom, and it sends out to investor A. And investor says, hey, I don't have that. I can't buy that, but I know someone that does. Let me click a button. And I say, yeah, authorized, go do that. Boom, it goes. Essentially, it creates a peer-to-peer mechanism, right, with AI built into it. But my goal is like phase one for us is going to, and this we're working on, and some of my team doesn't even know this, but I'm working on it, is like the level one connections, right? So it's like we have a database of, let's say, 9,400 and change of opted in contacts. I know that like the great majority of that database is either buying or interested in buying. They're not like selling or wholesaling, okay? So let's say for argument's sake, it was 90%. Let's say 90% of my database was buying or looking to buy. Well, that means that on, let's say it's 10,000, that's 9,000 people roughly, okay, are buying. But then there's 1,000 people that are selling or potentially selling or have a deal to sell, right? Why do I have to think so hard and say, which of my 1,000 people has something to sell to the one of the 9,000 that wants to buy that thing? Why do I have to think that hard? I don't have to think that hard. All I have to do is build in database technology and build in automations and AI to do this. And so I'm going to share with you guys, because if you're interested in that concept, if you're interested in the dynamics of what I'm describing, if you have any resources, I'm going to offer it to you as an opportunity to come back and say, hey, that sounds cool. How can I help? Whatever. If you can't help, it's okay. But I want to share it with you guys to let you know about it. But also the fact is that that's going to create an increased velocity to like multiples level of how fast I could take something of value and push it through a network and get that thing completed. It sort of is like the concept of, in my head, maybe I'm saying the wrong way, it's kind of like decentralizing in some ways the whole process, because it's taking, I'm in the center of it basically, or you're the center of your own sphere. Like we're in the middle of the hub and we're connecting the spokes to each other in a way that's systematic and automatic. But it takes a couple things. The database has to be organized in a way. So my background's tech before real estate. Some of you might know that, and that's why I'm a little bit different with this stuff, and I visualize certain things. But basically, databases, you have to have attributes. You have to have data. You have to have clean, organized, quality data. So data cleansing, data quality, all that kind of stuff matters. So we have to put good stuff in. And so I'd rather have, let's say, like 900 really good records than having like 9,000 really bad, disorganized records. Okay. So you'll notice if you're on our list, you might get a phone call, a text message, an email, a conversation somewhere about stuff that you're like, he's asking, or the company's asking a lot of questions about stuff. That information is valuable because that information helps us build out the profile so that we have the attributes about your individual preferences at this detail, to where I can then take those preferences and connect them to other people's needs. So your wants and needs are someone else's haves. And some of you have heard me say this, it's like exchange mindset. It's like, I have this, I need that. Well, if I can get a good list of your haves, I have this, and this. I have capital, I have, blah, blah, blah. And I need this, and that, my buy box. Well, data should say, if I have that crystal clear, if I know the type of property, where it's located, how big it is, how small it is, all that stuff, and how much renovations, and is it multifamily, is it single family, is it self-storage, is it something else completely, and what's my target returns, what size deal can I do, how many of those can I do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I generate capacity, right? That creates capacity for purchase. And then I had to create, or say demand, basically. And then I create supply. How do I create supply? I was on a call with a group this afternoon of a deal in Tampa, South Tampa, and I don't know them that well, but I'm going to get to know them, and they get deal flow consistently. Now that group, I need to ethically and morally and correctly reach out to these people on a consistent basis, or have my team do that to get deal flow, so I can bring that deal flow back to people like you in this group, people in my database. But I don't want to have to advertise the deal flow. See, that's the thing. Here's where people go wrong when it comes to co-wholesale JV, okay? In my book, and seeing hundreds of deals firsthand, and God knows thousands done across the people that we've helped and people I've seen in the communities we've grown. It's like this. If you go and say, well, would you consider letting me bring your deal to my investor? Like 95% of people are going to say no. Like 98% are probably going to just say straight up no. Why do they say no? Well, they say no because they think that they have the investor they need already. They don't need you. They don't need to pay you more. If you said, like, would you mind if I added a fee on top? They're probably also going to say no in a lot of cases because they don't want you to show a different price and have people get confused. I would say no because I don't want you to advertise a different price. Now, if you said something like, hey, I've got a database. I've got a database that's organized, and I know with a click of a button that I can send out a message to the top 5, 10, 20 people for this exact deal in my network. Would it be okay if I did that? And if I brought them to the table, could you get me involved in a deal somehow if I got that done really fast? And the answer, I expect it to be, I would say yes. And the answer should almost always be yes, because the risk is so limited if you've done the work.
All right. I hope this video gave you a new perspective on how tech and AI can take your real estate business to the next level. Remember, leveraging the right tools isn't just about saving time, it's about creating more opportunities and closing more deals. If you found this helpful, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to share this with someone who could benefit from these strategies. Like I always like to say, your life depends on it and your business depends on it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.